हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू रवीज बायोलॉजी क्लासेस एंड आज के इस क्लास में मैं बात करने वाला हूँ क्लास 9 के चैप्टर नंबर 7 में। तो 7 चैप्टर क्या है? डायवर्सिटी इन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स। पहले बात तो ये देखते हैं कि डायवर्सिटी होता क्या है। डायवर्सिटी जो है इट मींस डिफरेंसेस और यू कैन से वेराइटीज और यू कैन से वेरियस टाइप्स। और यहाँ पे डायवर्सिटी किसके बारे में बताई जा रही है? दिस डायवर्सिटी इज अबाउट द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स। ओके, एक बात पहले समझते हैं कि whenever we talk about diversity, it can be for anything around that we see around us। हम आसपास जो भी चीज देखते हैं तो उसके अंदर डायवर्सिटी होती है। मीन्स वी फाइंड दी वेराइटीज इन देम, वी फाइंड देयर वेरियस टाइप्स of anything that we see around us. For example, if we talk about our own country, क्या देखते हैं? We find the diversity in the food, we find the diversity in the religions, we find the diversity in the languages, dresses, okay, dances. तो ये क्या है? These are the diversity. So it is about one particular aspect of diversity that I am talking about is about our own country. Here in this chapter we are talking about what? हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं living organisms के बीच की diversity. Okay? So हम लोग जब बोल सकते हैं कि the food, religion, languages, dresses and dances they can be counted, but can we or do we know how many living organisms are there in our country or in this world itself, or live about the world in our own vicinity? Can we count them? As an estimate, as of now, we say that human beings are surrounded by at least 8.7 million different life forms. Different life forms present on this earth. और आजकल तो एलियंस की भी बात हो ही जा रही है। सो दीज आर दी प्रेजेंट लिविंग, इट इज द प्रेजेंट लिविंग कंडीशन, मींस इट इज दे आर दी लिविंग फॉर्म्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंटली काउंटेड, दे आर डिटरमाइंड, दे आर डॉक्यूमेंटेड। एंड इफ वी नोटिस दैट more than 99% life forms are extincted and billions of the life forms are not known to the human mankind. So we are surrounded by so many living organisms, so much diversity, yet we are yet to identify or document the other life forms present on the earth. Just I will give you one more example. Which all living organisms or which all type of plants, animals we know? We are very acquainted about the animals like dog, cat, rats. We see the cows, we see the buffaloes. Okay, and if we ever go to any national park or biosphere reserve or zoo, then we are able to see other animals like bear, lion, tiger and other animals. And similarly we are also able to see different plants. Like if you see the trees and the plants, very commonly you will find tulsi plant, or we can see the mango tree, okay, and we can see ashoka trees, we can see the banana plant. So what do we see? These are the different type of plants that we generally see around us. And are these the only type of plants and animals that are available? No, we are able to recognize them because we have been told about them. हमें पता है क्योंकि हमें इनके बारे में बताया गया है. So if we know about the dog, are we so much clear about the lion and tiger and the elephant and deer, as we are very much clear about the dog, cat and cows and buffaloes, but yet we can understand that we can put elephants, we can put deer in the same category as cows and buffaloes, and we can keep lion, we can put tiger, we can put jackal in the same category as that of cats and dogs. And even हमने सुना होगा कि lion, tiger, they come under the cat family. So when they fall under the cat family, हम लोग ये बोल सकते हैं कि the characteristics of lion and tiger are very much similar to that of the cats. Means they are carnivorous, they are nocturnal, they have sharp paws and they hunt for their food. तो ये सब जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं ये हमें पता है कैसे चले, बिकॉज वी नो अबाउट वन सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ एनिमल विच इज फाउंड इन आवर विसिनिटी, राइट. तो जब हम बात करते हैं अबाउट 8.7 मिलियन ऑर्गेनिजम्स की, डिफरेंट लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स की, तो हाउ कैन वी आइडेंटिफाई दीज ऑर्गेनिजम्स? वी हैव टू bring them down, their characteristics, their behavior, their patterns to a streamline. Okay, and that process of making this study streamline is called as classification. So in this particular chapter of diversity हम क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं? हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं एक बहुत important concept को, and that concept is classification of living organisms. So diversity and classification both are, you can say, interrelated and interdependent. ठीक है, डाइवर्सिटी है तो उसको समझने के लिए क्लासिफिकेशन का होना बहुत जरूरी है. If we don't classify the diverse objects which are present around us, we cannot understand their nature, we cannot understand their behavior, we cannot understand the pattern. तो जैसा कि हम लोग, अगर तुम लोग जाते होगे किसी सुपरमार्केट में, तो हम देखते हैं कि सभी चीजें एक कैटेगरी वाइज सजाई हुई होती हैं. So if we want to buy any particular product in the supermarket, we can go to a particular section and we can buy the object. But if those objects present in the supermarket or in the grocery store, suppose they are all present in a haphazard manner, will you be able to find them easily? Will you be able to shop easily? No. So diversity and classification, both these, diversity and classification, let me use this one. So diversity and classification both are interdependent. Okay, so let us study about classification of our living organisms. So this particular video, if you are understanding it, if you are learning it, and please, I would like you to share and subscribe the channel and comment upon this in the comment box. How are you understanding this channel? How are you liking it? So now let us go ahead into the topic of classification. So now let us understand about the term classification and the process of classification. In simple terms, classification can be also called as categorization. Just as I told you earlier that lion and tiger हम बोलते हैं कि they are coming under the cat family. So हम लोग categorize कर चुके हैं about the cat family. Okay, or likewise we say that we have descended from the chimpanzees. So chimpanzees क्या हैं? We can say that we are very much related to the apes. So this is what is categorization. We find monkeys and apes very similar to the behavior of human beings. So categorization हो गया. Or we can say that banyan tree, mango trees, eucalyptus tree, these are called as trees. Okay, like shrubs, like herbs. So they are categorized. So categorization जब किया गया, कैसे किया गया? So पहली बात देखते हैं कि living organisms, when man has first of all understood about the living organisms, he could see only two different type of living organisms. One was the animals, and another group was called as the plants. and they were classified on the basis of what? Whether they can move or not. So the movement was the basic characteristic criteria for the classification of these animals and plants. So Carolus Linnaeus is attributed for the process of classification. What he did, he only classified the living world into two categories on the basis of the movement, because they at that time microscopes, lenses were not present so as to see the microbes that we know already. अभी हमें पहले से पता है कि microbes हैं, bacteria है, fungus है, algae है, but at that time he was not knowing about that because microscopic organisms were not known and they were not studied. So animal and plants में दो division में किया गया. अब he classified these two, but later on it was also said that there are different type of animals, there are different type of plants, and all the animals are having different behaviors and their patterns and their nature. So apart from classifying these organisms into categories, there has to be some order, and that order is known as hierarchy. Hierarchy को simple word में समझा जाए तो if you look into your school system, then we find that at the top level you find principal is there, then your vice principal, then different coordinators, then the teachers. Okay, as we talk about the hierarchy at different levels, it may be seen in any of the institution, any of the places, like in our country also we find that hierarchy is maintained, like president is there, your prime minister and the union cabinet is there, and then different state ministers are there. So in that manner hierarchy has to be maintained, and in this same hierarchy is seen to be maintained in the classification process also. So Carolus Linnaeus, he also proposed the process of hierarchy, and he proposed class, order, genus and species. So he proposed these four levels of hierarchy, but later on it was seen that three more levels were added into this particular hierarchy. And what are they? Presently the hierarchy is studied under the following levels: kingdom, division or phylum, then class, then order, family, genus and species. ठीक है, तो why this is important? I told you that hierarchy, when we talk about, so kingdom is the topmost, it is the largest level, or here we will find that almost every organism will come over here. So as per Linnaeus, he said two categories were there, animals and plants. So now we can say that this is called as animal kingdom. This is called as animal kingdom, and the plants are falling under plant kingdom, right? So all the plants present on this earth, they will fall under plant kingdom, and all the animals present on this earth, they will fall under the animal kingdom, irrespective of that which is an aquatic animal or a terrestrial animal, or the animal which is arboreal, which is living in deserts. So it is irrespective of that, all the animals will fall under the animal kingdom. In the similar manner, whether a plant is a herb, a shrub, or a tree, a creeper, or a climber, all will fall under the plant kingdom. Okay. After this, the next level is called as the division and the phylum. Division word is saved for the plants. So plants will be called to be falling under the division, whereas the phylum word is for the animals. After that you will find the next level, class, order, family, genus and species. Now, if we for the moment leave these three levels of classification and we talk about the last two levels of classification, that is genus and species, okay, what we understand why and what we can study is, suppose for example, if we talk about human beings, we are called as Homo sapiens. Okay, we are called as Homo sapiens. In this Homo sapiens, the first term, that is Homo, is coming under genus. This is the genus, and the other term, that is sapiens, this falls under the species. So what I'm saying, that genus and species are actually telling us about a particular type of living organism. Okay, so Homo sapiens, Homo is genus and sapiens is species. If we talk about Homo sapiens, means we are talking about the humans. In the similar manner, let me give you some more examples regarding this. If I tell the name Mangifera indica, so Mangifera indica is the name, botanical name for mango. So what we say, Mangifera is the genus, whereas indica is the species. In a similar manner, Panthera tigris. Panthera tigris is the zoological name for tiger, where Panthera is the genus, whereas tigris is the species. So, in the process of classification, we have now studied about the hierarchy, wherein kingdom is the largest level and species is the smallest level, or you can say we can pinpointedly talk about a particular type of animal or a plant when we know about the genus and the species, and combined together they give the naming. Okay, naming of any particular animal or a plant is done by taking the last two levels of the hierarchy, that is genus and species. So as we have studied about the hierarchy, this whole process of classifying the organisms on the basis of the various levels of the various hierarchical levels, from the kingdom to the species, and then giving the name to the particular organism on the basis of the genus and species level, this whole process is termed as taxonomy. So it is a branch of biology, and you might be understanding that it is a very tedious process. It is a very time consuming process, because identifying any living organism is first of all very difficult process, because there are so many living organisms that are present and unidentified. But then once you find them, once these taxonomists find these living organisms, these animals or plants, they have to follow the hierarchical order, and then they have to give the name, and they have to attribute these organisms to particular kind of family and the order and the class. So this whole process is called as the taxonomy. So how will you define taxonomy? It is a process of classifying the organisms, naming the organisms on the basis of the different hierarchy or hierarchical levels. Okay. So out of the taxonomy, if the naming process is only considered, then that is called as nomenclature. It is nomenclature. So two terms we have understood here. So what's first is taxonomy, which is the complete process of classification of the living organisms, and then if you talk about the naming of the organisms, it is called as the nomenclature. Or nomenclature is also determined or is also done by a specific committee which is designed to name the organisms, animals and plants. So that is abbreviated as ICBN, and ICZN. So I want you students to learn or to find out the full form of the abbreviations ICBN and ICZN, and I would like you to comment in the comment box the full form of ICBN and ICZN. Okay, we have just now studied about the two kingdom classification system, and presently we are talking about five kingdom classification. In your book you will find that this is five kingdom classification. Okay, but two kingdom classification has not just transformed into the five kingdom classification. It is an extra knowledge I am giving to you. So in between there were three kingdom classification proposed by some scientists, and also four kingdom classification was proposed, but then finally it was understood that they were insufficient, they were not complete in their formation or in the proper classification of living organisms. So five kingdom classification was chosen. And who gave this five kingdom classification? It was given by R.H. Whitaker. Right? What are these five kingdoms that R.H. Whitaker is talking about? Apart from the two kingdoms that were given by Carolus Linnaeus, which were animal kingdom and plant kingdom, okay, three more kingdoms were added to it. So they were kingdom Monera. Now microorganisms have also made their way into the classification table. So Monera, then Protista, fungi, then came the Plantae and Animaliae. Okay, so in this way the five kingdoms were classified. Whenever the classification is done, there has to be some kind of basis. This cannot be done on any kind of random procedures. So what could be the basis of classifying these whole organisms into these five kingdoms? Basis of classifying these organisms into the five kingdoms is, first of all, complexity of the cell. Complexity of cell organization. Then complexity of the body structure. Complexity of body structure. Then third one is mode of nutrition. The fourth one is phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationship means evolutionary relationship. And then fifth one is how do they contribute towards the environment? So ecological relationship. So these are the five bases on which these organisms were classified into the five kingdoms. So the first one is the Monera. So this is the first one. Second kingdom is kingdom Protista. Third one is called as the kingdom Fungi. Fourth one is kingdom Plantae, and fifth one is kingdom Animaliae. Okay, I think the spelling is Animaliae. So students, this was the topic which introduced you to the diversity of the living world, and I will be talking about the five kingdoms like kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Algae in my upcoming lectures. And if you have understood this topic of introduction to the diversity of the living organisms, put your comments in the comment box and let me know, and I will be trying to putting my efforts in explaining these topics in a better manner. So like and share this topic, this video, and subscribe to this channel so that my notifications are received by you at the earliest. Thank you.